get into it. Let's have some fun.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Let's Be Real podcast. I'm your co-host Joslyn.
And it's your girl Rachel. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone is having a beautiful week.
Yes. So we were actually just catching up. So JoJo, well, she's kind of adjacent going viral.
Yeah. So here's the funny thing is I posted the video first, but so to give you guys some context, a couple weeks ago, I think I talked about this on the last pod, I went to Charlotte to go to a show with my best friend. And we started day drinking as soon as I got to Charlotte at like 3 p.m. So by the time we made it to this show, I was hammered. By the end of the night, we were going to his house and he has one of those Ring cameras and it caught a video of me running into a light at the door on the Ring camera. So he had sent it to me and I actually posted the video first, which it did get a lot more views than my TikToks normally get. I don't post on there too often. I got like 1,700 views, but it was in slow motion. So you couldn't hear us talking or anything. And people were commenting like, I want it in not slow motion, but apparently
I even commented.
Yeah, apparently on the Ring camera though, when you send a video to someone else, it sends it in slow motion. I'm assuming it's like a privacy feature because it kind of dubs the audio so you can't tell what the people are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my best friend decided to post the video. The only way we could post it without slow motion was if he posted it from his phone because it's his Ring camera. Yeah, so he posted it with the audio and yeah, we are going viral. So I'm viral adjacent. He's gained like over 200 followers. I'm like starting, the more viral it's going, I'm like gaining a little bit more, but yeah, it's a really funny video.
Couldn't you download it on your phone and repost it on your page?
Can I do that?
Yeah. Here.
Maybe I should do that. But yeah, no, it's so funny. We were reading the comments and it's hilarious. We just love it because we really we wanted to repost it because that is my best friend and like we're fucking insane. Like we are crazy. So we just wanted people to see our dynamic. The funny part to me though is that there's like guys that keep commenting being like, I love how she ran into the light. And she's like, you let me, like it was his fault. And I was like, literally, you have zero context. I did not say you let me. I said you left me.
Yo, okay, so I'm looking at the comments right now. This girl that I absolutely love, she's like an influencer, Monte McMichael, the beauty TikToker.
I don't know her. I'm not on Beauty Talk right now.
Yo,
did she comment on it?
Yes.
What did she say?
It's just the laughing emoji face, but she's getting up there. She's pretty big. She did a collaboration with Saucy Santana.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, it's a funny video. If you guys want to see it, the slow-mo version's at my Instagram at bfit.joslyn, but the non-slow motion version where you can hear people talking is at _dirty_crook. That's my best friend. But yeah, no, it's just so funny because so many people are like, I just love like watching people trying to figure out the thing. But Stasis, we got super blackout drunk. He had gone to another bar while I was still at the music venue. And he had left me and the show ended. And so he had come to get me. And I was upset with him because he left me. And then I fucking ran into that light. But can I tell you the best part, Rachel?
Yeah. So
the thing is, neither one of us remember that happening.
Really?
Yeah.
It's his reaction for me, the stupid bitch. Yeah. It's funny as
Yeah. So neither one of us remembered that at all, had no idea that happened. It was actually the whole next day. It was like 5 or 6 in the afternoon. I was out catching up with some other friends at a different bar, already, out drinking again. Face was fine. Had no idea I slammed my face the night before. He had no recollection of me slamming my face. and he got a notification from his Ring doorbell that told him he had a video, like something had been recorded. So he clicked to check to see what it was, and that's what we found. So I love it. It's honestly one of the most genuine moments. Like, that is us in our prime. Like, if I could tell you guys how hammered we were, like, oh my God, definitely didn't need to be near anyone's kids.
I just followed him, but isn't that crazy? He's only been on TikTok for like a couple weeks, already went viral.
I know. He said he had a friend that was like, he could tell was kind of jealous about it. And I was like,
Why?
but I always say this because everyone wants to go viral, baby.
How is he handling it? Because I didn't really handle it that well at first, but now I'm just like, okay, I kind of want to see what else I can go viral for.
Oh, we're cracking up. We've been cracking up about it. We weren't even necessarily trying to go viral. It was just like, I remember when I wanted to post the post first, and everyone's like, you really want to post it? And I was like, listen, if we can't laugh at ourselves sometimes in this lifetime, like, then what are we doing? But no, he's hilarious. He texted me yesterday and he was like, JoJo, congrats on 100K views. And he's like, Beach, we're gonna be famous. We're about to take over the world. I'm like, yes, bitch.
When are you gonna invite him to the pod?
We can do that soon. I'll talk to him. I know he's excited too. He actually gave us some would you rather questions for today. I figure we could do those at the end.
Oh, we got mail?
Yes.
Oh my
From Mr.
God.
Joshua Mitchell.
I haven't even looked.
But yeah, he's handling it fine. He's excited. I mean, the hard thing is like we don't have a ton of that kind of content to post, you know. So
yeah.
But he's just having fun on TikTok, not taking it serious. He's not concerned about being an influencer or going viral or anything like that.
I think that's when it's most enjoyable, when you're just having fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what I kept telling him, because when TikTok first started becoming a thing, we used to text each other and joke around and be like, oh my God, bitch, we need to make viral TikToks or whatever. We were like, no, we're just kidding. Because I always say this about myself. Whenever I'm trying to be funny, I'm not funny. It just has to be genuine. Like, it just has to happen. Like, you just have to catch it. And I was like, we'll go viral on TikTok one day. I was like, it'll just literally spoken into existence. I was like, it'll literally just be some dumb shit we're doing that gets caught on camera and we're going to go viral. And that's literally what happened. Just literally doing some dumb shit. Like,
I love it. I actually just followed him. I don't know why I haven't followed him yet, but I just did.
Girl, don't worry. He just started posting on there, so why would you have?
I don't know. But that's your friend.
It's so funny too, though, because like he's learning how to use the app, and he's kind of like trying to learn through me, who like I don't even barely know how to use the app. So he'll like send me shit, and we'll like work on it and get it together, and then like he'll be like, it disappeared. I hate this app. I give up on it. The Gen Zers can have it. I'm like, all right.
It is a hard app. Like, you just gotta play with it, man. Like, I feel like every day I learn something new on it and different stuff just by watching other people.
Yeah. I want to like learn more of the transformations, is that what they're called?
The transitions.
Transformations. But they're hard. I just like to go in LumaFusion, put my clips together, and then throw it up, make it easy. But yeah, no, it's funny. So yeah, he's actually the one that went viral. I'm like viral adjacent, or whatever. But the comments they've been funny. Honestly, we've been like on the phone reading them, like laughing together. And I just love like seeing people being like, I would have cried too. Or people being like, I'm the girl, or I'm the friend that laughs. And then I had another person that commented and said, I'm both of them.
I would be both.
Yeah. Oh, listen, trust me. We've been friends since 2018 now. So what, 4 years, almost 5 years. And we've been on both ends. We used to work at Melon Mushroom together.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll never forget him. I was going through a really hard time in my life. And we were both servers, but I was like doing food running shifts because I was training, even though I had worked there again, I had to do at least 3 food running shifts. What? You're scaring me.
I forgot to press record on my phone.
Oh, I haven't even done that either.
Oh, do it.
Completely forgot. We're just in it today, folks, okay? But yeah, no, we met him on Mushroom, and I'll never forget the first thing that he said to me. He walked up to me and he looked at me and he said, "Who are you?" And I was like, "Jojo, who are you?" And he's like, "Josh, I don't know you, but I like you." And he walked off. And I was like, okay. And I remember there was this guy we worked with that just was trying, it was like the first person I met. So he was like the first friend I had made there. And I was like asking him, like, who's that Josh guy? Like, he seems kind of cool. Like, who is that? And he just wanted me to hate Josh so
Why?
bad because he was a hater. Because he was
He
a
seems
hater.
really. I want to meet him. I feel like I would really like him too.
Oh my God, I love him. He's amazing. But yeah, no. And then the second thing that he said to me, when that was just like signed, sealed, deliver, which was the first night we ever hung out together. He looked at me at the bar and he said, "Girl, as soon as you walked in here, I looked at you one time and I said, I'm glad I'm gay. I don't want them problems." And I was like, you know what? My self-esteem was here and you brought it here in 2 seconds. So we've been bonded for life ever since then. But we've both definitely been on both ends of that drunkenness. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah.
I
You'll
hope
love
he
it.
likes me too.
He will. He's a joy.
I hope he thinks I'm a MILF.
I'll be like, you better. No, he will. Trust me. I will say this. Get you a gay best friend.
No, I don't have a gay best friend.
You need a GBF, girl. We need to get you a GBF because we need more gay men in the world. Okay. Like, it is what it is. Like, he is the most respectful guy I've met. He's crazy. He's batshit crazy, but he's such a good person. I love him so much. I was literally just telling him, I was like, you would jump in front of a bullet for me. Like, I know he would. But yeah.
Aw.
Check us out on TikTok, folks. I don't know what else we're gonna be posting, but there'll be something.
Oh my gosh, I'm so ready for it. Like, you guys just gotta, like, whenever y'all are near each other, just keep a camera on record the entire time.
We
And
always
just
say
post
that all the
snippets.
time. We always say that all the time. We're always like, we just need someone to follow us around, like, and just catch us in our element. We are truly a duo, an iconic. I like to tell them, I'm always like, we're icons, baby. You know what? Fuck that. I'm patting myself on the back. We are fucking iconic. Like, and people know it. Like, all of our friends know it. They're like, oh, that is who we want at our party. We want them there. We're fun. We're lit. Like,
That's a clip. That has to be a clip of you just saying
we're
that.
clipping that.
That's a clip.
We are. Have you ever seen that Lady Gaga? I don't even know what it's from. I've just seen so many people use it where they're like iconic, legendary, one of a kind, unique. That's us. Like, we are literally, and I can't explain it. Like, people are like, I want a friendship like that. And I'm like, you know what? It just fit. Like, we can't explain it. Like, it happened.
Yeah, I had a dynamic duo like that. We had a falling out and I reached out back to her, and I mean, we're on speaking terms now, but I hope we get back to that stage. We were like so close, people thought we were fucking. And they were like, "Are y'all dating or like what's going on here?" And we're like, "No, we're just friends."
We're just friends. No, that's so funny that you say that because Josh said someone commented, best friend. Oh yeah, right. That's your girlfriend. And I'm like, I mean, I'm missing a couple pieces, but whatever
Did someone really say that?
Yeah, he said that. I'm like, whatever you want to believe. But no, that's our one joke that we have with each other all the time when we're out and like we're like giddy and all over each other and like playing around, and then we'll like push each other away and we'll be like, bitch, I'm trying to look single, like back off, because you know it's a boy girl duo. people are used to heterosexual relationships, so it's easy to assume, but
The
no.
laugh. That laugh is so freaking
That
hilarious.
little he does.
Wait, I need to listen to it real quick because that's just fucking hilarious. Hold on.
It is funny.
And emotional, and you think everything
Wait, what the fuck is this?
funny.
Oh.
Stupid bitch, you ran into that light.
When your best friend drunk
He said, "You stupid bitch, you ran into that light."
Stupid bitch, you ran into that light.
You know the best part about it too? It's just one of those videos that you can watch over and over again.
It gets better.
So funny.
It gets better every time.
I knew but listen, like when he sent that to me and I remember I was out at Netto 101 and my friends, we kept watching it. Like this was later. He had sent it to me earlier. We were out at Netto 101 now and I kept watching it at the bar and I was like showing people at the bar. And I looked at them and I was like, I need to post this. I was like, TikTok deserves this content. Like the people deserve this content because if you think about it, it's so relatable. Like, I mean, unless you don't drink, which is fine, everyone's journey. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Next time I come home, we got to go out. Kev, you're watching the baby. Me and Ray are going out. We're hitting the streets. You, me, and Josh. But girl, be ready. Be ready because it's going to be a time.
Oh, yeah, because I'm a lightweight now after I'm a lightweight again.
Same. That's why my face was slamming into a door because I went to Charlotte drinking like I've been drinking all these months. No. And I've lost 20 pounds. It don't work the same. It does not go back the same. And it's like, it's so funny too, because I just wish we could explain to people like truly how hammered we were. Like, I remember at like 7:30ish, we were like, okay, we're going to go back to the apartment, change into like our outfits for tonight. Cause we were like day drinking. So we're like, we're going to pay for like change our outfits for tonight for the show. And we're going to chill out for a little bit and like sober up a bit. So we make it to the show. And we like changed our clothes and we were in the apartment for like all of 10 minutes. And we looked at each other and we were like, if we're going to keep going, we have to go back out. Like, there's no way we're going to die here. So like, that's context of like where we were at 7:30, 8 p.m. And that was recorded after 2 a.m.
That's too funny.
I lost my debit card. It's so much going on.
Oh my goodness. Love it. But yes, but what are we reading? What are we reading? How's the book going?
So I have not bought a new book yet. Life has been so busy. I had a friend's birthday this weekend, and then I've just been super hyper focused on finishing the rest. The book I am reading is the national certification book.
Oh, yes, your test is coming up.
Yeah, I have to test before the 7th, and so I've been like hyper focused on that. So I just didn't even go out and buy a new book. I want to read Ugly Love because you told me that was a really good one. So I think I'm going to do that one next. And then I might do a self-help book after just to throw it in the mix and then pop back over to fiction. But yeah, no, not doing great on the reading front this week. What about you?
Let me know if you want to borrow Ugly Love so you don't have to buy it. Just return it.
Oh, that's a good, no, I will return it. That's a good point.
Because nobody ever gives me back my books. So
oh no, I will give you back your books. I love my books and take pride in my books, so I understand. Yeah. No, I'll return it.
I'll mail it to you.
What are you reading?
Normal People. So you know how I said I started A Court of Thorns and Roses?
Yes.
The red book. I was bored. I couldn't connect with it. So I'll try it again, but I started reading Normal Normal People by Sally Rooney.
Did they turn that into a TV show on Hulu?
Yep.
Okay, I've wanted to watch the TV show. I haven't yet. I didn't realize it was a book.
I didn't know it was a TV show till on the cover it says now a Hulu original series.
Of course.
It's like, to me, it's like, I don't know, nothing special. I know everyone like raves about it. I'm like, it's the typical romance book, like popular guy, loner girl. Popular guy is insecure and is worried about what everyone thinks. Loner girl is true to herself and doesn't care what anybody thinks. So it's like, typical love story.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. I also want to read the 7 Husbands of Evelyn.
I'll mail you both of them.
Okay,
Of them. But return them.
I'll return. I promise. I'm also excited because it's October, which means it's officially my birth month. So
Wait, when's your birthday?
October 24th, exactly 1 week before Halloween.
What are you gonna do?
I am going to come to Charlotte. So I'm gonna come to Charlotte. I was gonna have a birthday party, but then the thought of planning a birthday party felt stressful. So
I want to go out with you.
Yeah, so I'll let you know. I haven't picked a restaurant yet, so I'm gonna do like a fancy dinner. So my best friend's gonna like help do everything. So he just told me I need to pick a restaurant. He'll make the reservations. So we're gonna do that, and then just like go out after or whatever. Because honestly, like that's true me fashion. But I do want to like get dressed up in a really cute, fancy, girly outfit. I also, for the first time ever, this is like one of my birthday presents to myself. I'm getting a curly girl haircut on the 19th.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be amazing. I've never had one.
Scared. I'm so scared. My one of my best friends, Ariel, texted me recently and I asked her how she's doing, and she's like, I got a dry haircut, like a curly girl haircut for the first time, and it has changed my life. And I was like inspired, and I was like, you know what? I've been so frustrated with my hair. It's like so triangle right now. So I really want curly bangs because my bangs are grown out long enough. So I found a curl specialist here. She's Diva Cut certified. So I have an appointment for noon on October 19th. So I just like want to come to Charlotte and be like grown and sexy and rock my new bang.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I need to get a mani-pedi because on the 15th I have an engagement party. And then week after that, it's your birthday, and I'm trying to look sexy.
Yes. And then I probably will be in Charlotte. That my birthday's on a Monday this month, so I'll probably be in Charlotte that day too. So maybe we'll record a pod on my birthday. I have to see how I'm feeling though, because like it depends on what I end up doing that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
we can record around it. We could probably like record like 2 episodes on a weekend day or something. So then that way.
Or maybe I could come over and see you and we could record at your house together.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we can make it work. It's all because of that baby. It's like, so I don't know why. I feel like I'm like in a nesting mood, but I'm in a phase where like I feel like I'm purging everything, just like getting rid of everything that doesn't serve us anymore because we've accumulated so much stuff between the 3 of us. So I'm like,
very much the energy and the vibe of the planets in the astrology right now. So.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because I'm like organizing and getting rid of stuff like no other.
Doesn't that feel great though?
Yeah, I love it when it looks like, because I want to make, we've lived in the house for a year now, but when we moved in, I had my busy season with my job. So I didn't have a lot of time to like focus on organizing. Then I got laid off, so I didn't have the money to make it pretty. But now that I'm not working, now that I am working again and have more time, I'm just like, time to really focus on my house.
Yeah, I love that. Ugh, I can't wait to have a whole house one day to like, you can do what you want with it.
Don't have an HOA.
Oh, I know that. My mom had one, and I'm like, no, I'm good.
No, I feel you. Yeah, let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah. So this is something that I really wanted to talk about today, guys. But it's just reparenting your inner child and just like rewriting your subconscious beliefs. So I don't know if I said this on a pod before or if I was talking to someone about this. I know I've talked to a million people about this, but I read in some book, a self-help book, I can't remember which one, that when we are born with fully conscious minds, right? So like you don't teach a baby how to eat or how to cry.
Mhm.
They just know how to do it. So we're born as fully conscious human beings. But we're not born with fully developed subconscious minds, right? So your subconscious mind begins to develop based on the environment that you grow up in. So I'm not going to say for everyone because we all have different upbringings, but for a lot of us, it's your parents, whether you live with your mom and your dad, your mom, your stepdad, stepmom, stepdad, whatever situation you have, that's kind of where all of your subconscious beliefs come from. But I don't know if you can relate to this, but I know I didn't realize it was subconscious beliefs, but kind of when college first hit and I moved out for the first time, I started to realize like, is that true? Does that really make sense? Like you kind of start questioning things that your parents or your family or people around you taught you because you're experiencing the world on your own for the first time. Does that
Mhm.
make sense? So,
Yeah, mine's kind of opposite. I was really stubborn. So my mom actually tried to set me up for success. So everything she was trying to teach me, I was like, oh, I see why she was
see,
telling me to do this.
and I think that's a beautiful thing. And like, and I don't want to say that I think my parents weren't setting me up for success. I mean, first and foremost, I want to say like all parents, you're not work because I'm not a parent, so I don't know. But I really truly feel like for the most part, most parents are just trying to do the best that they can do and teach you what they know. And I definitely think that's what my mom and my parents were trying to teach me. But I just had like such an interesting upbringing where it's like I got to the real world and I was like, I am not prepared for this shit at all. So that's really interesting. It's kind of also why I wanted to talk to you about it because it seems like you had a mom that was a little bit more. She kind of let you do things and make mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, I was complete opposite.
Well, so with my upbringing, me and my mom like grew up together because she had me when she was 14. And she always says like she wished she would have had better role models um, and better parents to set the example for her. So then that way she could, be set up for success when she was an adult. But because she didn't have that, she was like, I want to set my daughter up as best as I know how. She was like, at 14, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try as best as I can. So she understood that like life is going to happen and life is like your biggest teacher. So, and I was stubborn because I was like, if I set my mind on something, I'm going to do it. So we that's how we kind of operated. Like everything I wanted, she tried her best to provide, but along the way, she always wanted me to feel comfortable to open up to her. So um, so we did. Like she tried, like everything that happened to her, she didn't want to happen to me. So like, for example, as soon as I turned 18, she made me get a credit card, and she was like, only use 30% of this credit card to start building your credit. So then that way, as you get older, it'll be easier for you to buy things. Because in this world, um, it's not about like, it's not all about how much money you have. it's also important about your credit score. And she was like, only use 30%, put your gas on here, and then like pay it off like at whenever your bill is due. But I mean, I didn't listen. I maxed that shit out. So I'm still trying to like recover from my past mistakes as a child.
No,
But
we all are, so I get it.
but it really helped me because ever since then, I didn't start getting below a 750 until I bought a house because the house is like the biggest hit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So she helped set me up for success in talking about money and teaching me about credit. But a lot of things that she grew up doing, it taught me a lot of things that I don't want for myself. Like, we grew up, I was like the trailer park kid, and I was always like so embarrassed. So I would say for this episode, a lot of the things I lived through is like kind of my unlearning right now. Like being the trailer park kid and being the poor kid in school at an affluent, predominantly white school. I like judge myself a lot. Like I wouldn't let anyone come to my house because I was like, oh, I live in a trailer and they're gonna judge me and I don't want to be judged. So now looking on it, I'm just like, that's dumb. Who cares?
Okay, yeah, so you get what I'm saying, right? Like you look at these like thoughts and beliefs that you had as a child, and then like you start to think about it as an adult and you're like, that's fucking stupid. That's dumb. Like, why do I believe that? So in my household, we grew up very sheltered, very structured. I had a very controlling stepfather, and I couldn't wear tight jeans, tight clothes. I'm like, to put it into perspective for some people, when I was I graduated when I was 17. So when I was 17 years old and a senior in high school, I could not go to the mall with my friends unless my friends' parents got on the phone and said that they were going to be there the whole time with us, walking around with us, right? So like, I didn't do much. I went to church and I went to school. And my stepdad was just kind of the person where like nothing was good enough. Like I would make sure everything was, all the list of things we were supposed to do before our parents got home were done. And he would come home from work and he could find one crumb on the kitchen floor, and I'm punished. There's no way I swept. There's no way you swept this floor. There's a crumb right there. You're lying to me. And so as I've gotten older, I've realized a lot of those things have caused me to have really bad subconscious beliefs. So I read this book, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero earlier this year. And she talks about money specifically when she speaks of it, but this is kind of what really like brought this to my attention. So she has this part of the book where she talks about how we don't realize, and maybe that was the book where I read about the subconscious mind and the conscious mind when we're born. But she basically says how she used money as an example. So she's like, let's say, I'm going to use my family as an example. So for us, we had 7 kids growing up in the household. And so my parents my mom made good money. My stepdad did okay. But because we had so many kids, we always lived paycheck to paycheck no matter what. And like, we grew up in a middle-class neighborhood, like the suburbs of Charlotte, like whatever. But we lived paycheck to paycheck. My clothes came from Goodwill and stuff like that because we had so many mouths to feed. And so she was basically saying, like, let's say for me personally, every time I saw my mom make money and talk about money, she was frustrated because no matter how good she was doing, we always lived paycheck to paycheck. So subconsciously, that distills the thought in my mind that money equals you're never going to have enough. It's always going to be paycheck to paycheck. And because my mind subconsciously believes that, because that's the relationship that was presented to me with money, I may not realize it, but I'm consciously going to do things that keep me in a pattern of living to paycheck. And I was like, it was like,
Hmm. That kind
um,
of makes sense because when I was growing up, I was like, Mom, why can't we live in a house? Like, I'm embarrassed to live in a trailer. And she was like, well, we can definitely live in a house, but you won't be able to play travel ball, or you won't be able to get new clothes every weekend. We won't be able to do this. We won't be able to do that because we'll be house poor. So that's from that taught me to live below my means. Like, don't live at your means, live below your means. So that way you can have extra spending money. So
okay,
that's always been instilled in me.
right. Yes. See, beautiful, right? So it's like you see how that subconscious thought. So, like for your mom, it was like, okay, well, we have money, but let's live a little bit lower than what we have. So that's was your thought process, right? And so I realized that was a big thing with me too, of like anytime I've ever gotten out of any relationship, I've always felt like I was not enough, or like I couldn't understand why this person wouldn't choose me. But going back to it, again, I grew up in a tough household. I grew up in an emotionally and mentally like abusive and toxic household. Not my mom, but my stepdad. But I think as a child, I was always frustrated because I felt like my mom was always choosing this guy, right, over me, her child. So now I have this subconscious belief that no one wants to choose me. So anytime a friend leaves me or a partner breaks up with me, I immediately feel like I'm not enough and that no one chooses me, because that's how my mind, your mother is kind of like your most innate like relationship of like what love is and what it's supposed to be like.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's my idea of love. And it's also the reason why we chase after relationships like that after, right? It's like we know that we don't want to keep putting ourselves through this, but our subconscious mind believes, but that's what love is. That's
Mm-hmm.
love. So
Mm-hmm.
like keep chasing it because that's what it is. And so that's kind of what I mean by like reparenting your subconscious
Yeah.
beliefs. Mhm.
Yeah. I'm like, now as a parent, I'm like unlearning a lot of things myself. Because one thing that I'm noticing and that really, really bothers me is I'm seeing a lot of parents now, like when they have their kids, they're like, oh, I can't be this and I can't be that because I'm a mom now. But at the end of the day, it's just like the child didn't ask to be here. You're the one that laid down and decided to make a baby, accident or not. Everyone knows the consequences of having sex. You can be, whatever. But the matter of the fact is, none of us asked to be here. Like, I didn't ask to be here. You didn't ask to be here. So as a parent, I feel like it's my responsibility to do the best that I can to teach uh, my son how to be a good human and set him up for success in the future. So, um, I had it hard, but I don't want my son to have to struggle like I did. Um, but he's definitely going to learn what hard work is. That's a fact. But when it comes to like being comfortable with yourself and being for sure in who you are, like I want to speak that into him. I want to speak like love into him. So then that way he doesn't feel like he has to like chase it from somewhere else. And as a parent, I feel like that's our responsibility. It's like whatever happened to you as a child, don't bring that shit onto your child. They didn't ask for
Yeah.
that.
And I think that's the thing that really frustrates me too. And it's like the older that I get, and like I remember earlier this year I went to visit my family in Colorado
Mhm.
with just me and my mom, and that's her whole side of the family. We went to visit them for a week. And they're like, I love like hearing all these stories of like my mom being young and living life and doing fun things. And it's like, but it can be so frustrating for me because it's like, I was taught that drinking is bad. You should never drink. You should never do that. And this one's my favorite. I had a crush. I wrote about having a crush on a boy in the 5th grade in my diary, which my stepfather then searched for, found, read, and then told me I was a slut for having a crush. Right. And so it's crazy because it's like, I think that
those words can really hurt. Like, as a parent saying that to a child, like those things stick.
When that's a totally normal thing for young people to have crushes on other young humans, like that's a part of life and growing up. And that's the thing that it's like so crazy. It's like I realize I've lived so much of my life like feeling shame and like feeling bad. Like, I mean, I think about it. There's even things that like I'm scared to say on the podcast sometimes because I'm like thinking about my mom listening and like, but it's like so crazy because it's like I'm just being real and I'm sharing my life experience. And that's one thing I always admired about my real father is no matter what, he always kept it as real with me and he protected me. Yes. You know what I mean? But he did not hide what real life was like from me. And I think that's the best thing that you could give your children. I heard in yoga teacher training school, I think the one thing that my yoga teacher said that stuck out and just resonated with me so much was that she was explaining how like when her kid wants a juice box, she doesn't go get him a juice box. She tells him or shows him how to get the juice box. She has him open the fridge. She has him grab it out of the fridge. She has him put the straw on it. And she was like, you know what? Yeah, sometimes he misses and he makes a mess and it's all over the place. But do you know what I do after that? I teach him how to clean up the mess. And she was like, and the reason why I do that is because the world does not care. I think she said the world does not give a fuck how much you mother and baby your child. The world doesn't care. You have to teach people how to be self-sufficient. You have to teach them, how to function in the world. You have to teach them. I always tell my mom, I have a 13-year-old little sister, and I always say how, like, maybe you should make her watch the news for 20 minutes a day. It doesn't need to be for an hour. She doesn't need to be watching the news all the time, but like maybe she should watch 15, 20 minutes a day. You need to talk to her about sex. You need to talk to her about sex trafficking. You need to talk to her about things going on in the world, because the reality is when I graduated and I got thrown out into the world, there's so much shit that I went through and dealt with that I was losing my mind. I was like, what the fuck? This is not what they told me life was like. Like, just what? Like, I have no idea. I blew the engine in my first car and everyone was like, you weren't getting your oil changed. And I'm like, no one told me that I had to do that. Like, my parents didn't take me anywhere. They didn't show me anything. So,
oh yeah. I'm already like teaching my son stuff. Like, whenever I'm it's funny when you say this, because I feel like Kev is more like the helicopter parent and I'm not, because he's like, kind of treats him like he's still an infant, but he's not, like, not putting him down and like making him sit in his high chair so he can calm down and get stuff done. And I'm like, just include him. Like I have my son cook with me. Granted, he can't do much, but he'll help me season, and like I'll watch him. I'll let him watch me mix things and like certain stuff that I feel like is age appropriate. Like I won't let him handle a knife or anything. Yeah. But no, and like those life skills are so important, and that's what my mom wanted for me, because even like in high school, my mom worked for these like really rich parents, and like it's funny because like rich people, it's okay if they don't parent because they just like throw money at them and whatever. And that's so weird. But their kids didn't know how to do laundry at high school. And my mom's like, uh, at that point, I know how to clean everything. I know how to do everything. I'm self-sufficient at that point. And it's just
Yeah.
so funny, even in college, people are like, yeah, I'm just gonna wait till I go home.
Yeah, they have
Do
no
laundry.
idea. No
Yeah.
idea. And it's like, it blows my mind. It's like, you have to prepare people to be human beings. But like, also, I think people need to know and understand. I'm not saying don't listen to your mom and dad, because there's also a lot of things where, I don't necessarily love and agree with the way that I was parented, but there are a lot of things that it taught me. Like, I am very disciplined. A lot of times I meet older people who meet me and they're like, wow, you're very mature for your age. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's what I was. Discipline was what I was, was embedded into me. And now I'm forever grateful for those lessons because I am a responsible human being that pays my bills and
Mhm.
cleans my house and, has my own car that I pay for. But like also know that everything your parents tell you is not fucking gold.
Yeah, yeah. So I have an example. I remember because my mom never went to college, and I remember in high school, I was telling her I want to go to college, and she was like, "You can't go to college," and I'm like, "Why not?" She was like, "Because you can't. Like, you're not smart enough," and I'm like,
Oh my
"What?"
goodness.
um, and that really like hurt my feelings. But we talked about it. It took us years to get like to the understanding, but she was just like, she said it was coming from her own insecurities because she never went to college and didn't know how that would work. But um, I feel like a lot of times too, they project their insecurities on us,
Yeah.
and then we have to rummage through that bullshit and figure out like work
What's
through that on our own.
factual?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's factual and what's something that you just need to take in one ear and out the other.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I would definitely say that's 100% where I'm at in life. Like, I always tell this to my mom, like, she hates cuss words. And like, I get it, whatever, bad words. But in my opinion and in my life, what I've realized that I believe is words only hold the power that you give them.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not some rude person. I'm not going to just walk up to someone and be like, you bitch, blah, 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 right? Context of how you're using it. But like, if I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's not bad to me. And it's like, you know what? Like, you can think that's bad and that can upset you. But like, that's you. That's your belief. That's what you
Mhm.
believe. And I am a 26-year-old, about to be 27-year-old, grown ass woman. I can say what I want. Like, I remember posting a post and I don't remember what it said, but it was like a repost of like a quote. And it was like about being a badass woman. Like, it was such a positive, like, woman positive quote. And my mom responded to my Instagram story, and the only thing she could say was, oh my God, Joslyn, bad word. And I'm like what? Like, you're so wrapped up in the subconscious belief that that your parents probably distilled in you, that this is such a bad thing, that like this is a beautiful message that you're not seeing because all you can focus on is that word. And I
Mhm.
just think it's so crazy because the older you get, the more you start to poke holes. I mean, and if you think about it, it's really life experience, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and thinking about it now, I'm realizing that a lot of like the negativity that my mom spoken to me was her insecurities um that she had about herself projected onto me. Because my I feel like my mom saw herself as a failure, like um being a teenage mom and uh hopping job to job, and then So listen to this crazy life story I'm about to share. I know things definitely got hard for her because my grandma actually killed my grandpa.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So her mom killed her dad when I was 3 years old. And it was wild. I don't know. Do you want me to go into the story and tell the story or?
Go ahead. If you're comfortable, go ahead. Cause I'm interested now. I'm like, wait, what? So your grandma killed your grandpa.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Gosh.
Yeah. My mom was 17 at the time. I was 3.
She
But
was 17
mhm,
and she had a 3-year-old.
yep.
Holy cow.
Practically homeless at that point. But my grandma and my grandpa had been arguing, and it had been going on for a while. And he went to a party with his friends, and she came home and was like, "Where's your father?" And my mom was like, "Oh, he went out." No, no, no. I'm sorry. I'm remembering wrong. Uh, my mom was at work, and she went to go find my grandpa. Found him at a party. Was like, "Hey, I gotta talk to you. Let's go home." They got in a heated argument, and then my grandma was an alcoholic, and they were like hippies, so they were both into like drugs, um, alcohol, and so it just got heated, and I feel like the drugs like escalated it. So she stabbed him 11 times in the chest, and it
Did
was
she go
crazy.
to
Yeah, she went to prison.
I was like, I have so many questions. Holy
Yeah,
cow.
yeah,
11 times.
she went to prison, and it's crazy because it was a small town, and my mom's friend was working at the gas station, and the cops came in, and they were talking about it because it had been like a crazy thing that doesn't really happen in like the town, and they're like, yeah, so and so Chevalier, uh, homicide. I think that's the word for it. So she
Yeah.
went in the back after they left and called my mom and was like, "Hey, yo, something's going on at your house," because our last name is not a common last name. If you hear our last name, you know who it is. No one has that last name.
Especially in a small town.
Yes. So my mom dropped me off at her boyfriend's house at the time and went there, and she was like, it was crazy seeing all the blood and everything.
I couldn't imagine like walking into your house and your dad is murdered on the ground and come to find out your mom is the one who like that's a movie.
It
You
is.
could write a book. Your mom could
You
write a
did a
book.
movie? I've been told that. Did a
Literally.
movie. Yeah, and so my grandma went to prison. She went to prison for 6 months because they ruled her as having like psychological issues. So she was only in prison for 6 months. But during that time, we moved out with my aunt. Well, my great aunt, because it's my grandma's sister. And we lived there in Ohio. And then from there, we kind of just like couch surfed until we were able to get on our feet by ourselves.
Insane. That is insane. That is
Mhm.
so crazy.
So,
So yeah, but no, I could see why you're saying, from your mom going through that situation,
mhm,
it then causes that to trickle down and
yeah. And she always worked like 2, 3 jobs at a time. So we definitely lived paycheck to paycheck, and she always wanted better for herself, but didn't know how.
Mhm.
Um, so that's why um, dang, I lost my train of thought. But that's why when I wanted what I wanted for myself and was looking for her support, and she would be like, no, she was coming from a place of scarcity, how
Yeah.
she grew up. So
Yeah.
I'm unlearning that right now because I'm just like in that mindset with inflation and everything.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing. It's like, I had a reading. Y'all know I'm all into the witchy things. I had a reading recently, and she had explained to me that the one thing that I really needed to work on was my lack mentality. And she was like, and wherever that is in your life, maybe money, maybe. And I was like, I realized I did have a lack mentality, because feeling like I'm not enough, that's a lack mentality. Being stress is like one of my biggest triggers for my anxiety, or not stress. No shit. Money is one of my biggest triggers for my anxiety. I'm always stressed about money. My friends know it. They see me anytime I'm on a vacation, like a million times. I'm like checking my bank account over and over again. I'm like on the calculator on my phone, and my friends are always like, get off the calculator, get off the phone, because like, as much as like I freak out about money, they're like, you wouldn't be here if you couldn't afford it, like blah blah, right? But I realized that's a lack mentality, and it's I started to pinpoint, like, where is this coming from? And I realized it's really like my inner child, right? That's what she experienced growing up, watching her mom. And I mean, my mom worked long hours, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and we always lived paycheck to paycheck. So I just started to realize, like, I also had that scarcity mindset as well. And I've carried that into my adult life. And so, like, as weird as it is, and this is not me saying, people, that you can just be like, I'm putting it in the universe's hands and it's going to be fine. Like, right. Manifestation works two ways. Yeah. You have to think it and manifest it, but you also have to go out there and put in the work to actually receive it. But I have been trying to work on reminding myself that I'm a hard worker. I always figure it out no matter what, and changing those thought patterns to, instead of, like this weekend, I had a friend's birthday, and I didn't have a ton of extra money to be spending on a birthday and doing all of that. We have rent and stuff. It's the first of the month. But at the end of the day, I was like, I need to quit living in this mindset that if I spend $20-$30 out tonight, that like everything is going to fall to pieces and I'm never going to have enough. Like, that's not true, because as long as you believe that, you will continue to put yourself in situations that prevent you from having the money that you need. And so in a weird way, you do kind of just have to put some trust in the universe and know that it's there. And my friend Kayla told me this, which is my friend who did my reading. With manifestation, and the way that it works is that you have to truly believe it for it to come true. So, like, even if you just say it, but you don't really believe it, it's not going to happen. You have to believe that it's yours and that it's there and it will come true. And I promise you will find a way to make it happen. And so that's the thing. It's like, you have to start practicing those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's crazy when you think about it, because I would say I'm living in my manifestations now.
That's awesome. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm never gonna live in a trailer again. I'm gonna own a house one day. I'm gonna have a badass dog.
Yes.
My child's gonna have a father, because my father wasn't present, and I didn't get the chance to have a father before he passed. So I was like, I want my child to have a father that's present. Even if we don't work out, I need him to have a father figure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. See, and that's a beautiful thing. And that's the thing, right? So you believed it, like you truly believe that those things were there for you. And so it happened. And I think that's an amazing thing, and that a lot of people could learn from that and have to learn that. And like, if I can give anyone advice, I know that this is what I did the other day is, I have two pieces of advice. First of all, and also I can't take credit for this, Kayla told me to do this, but anyone who's older, who's dealing with this, sit down. And I know we've said this before. We talked about this when we did self-care. I know it's so fucking cliche, but I'm telling you, it works. Buy a goddamn journal. You can buy one for $5 at Five Below. Like, buy a journal and sit down and think about your inner child. Because also think, when we're kids, what our parents tell us we can and can't do, we might be like, okay, right? But when you're truly young and you're a kid, you don't give a fuck what anyone says. You believe what you want to believe, and that's what matters, right? So sit down, think about what your inner child wanted. When you were a kid, what did you imagine for your life? And write that down, first of all. And then secondly, something else I challenge you to do is, and I did this a week ago, is I wrote down as I noticed my subconscious beliefs. Like, for example, you are not enough. I've known that one for a while and I've been working on that one and I'm getting in a better place with that one. But the idea of not feeling like anyone chooses me, that's when I just realized like a month ago. But when you notice that subconscious belief, write it down. And then underneath that subconscious belief, I challenge you to write down the new belief that you are going to replace that subconscious belief. So, for example, for me, not no one chooses you. The new subconscious belief that I wanted to steal in my mind is that you choose yourself. You have people who love you and choose you every day. Write that down. And then when I tell you, write that shit down every day, because that's the only way that it works. You have to it's really the motto, fake it till you make it. You have to keep telling your mind that until you've created that new thought pattern. That's what they're teaching in therapy and things like that. So I think that's just so important because
Hey, yo.
can you hear? Oh, I'm back. Oh my gosh, I almost got lost there, guys. No, but no, I swear to you that and I don't think it's that your parents are coming from a place where they're trying to fuck you up or they're not trying to set you up for failure. I mean, I think they're just trying the hardest
They're
with
going
what they
based off
know
of
and they
what
can
they
do.
know.
Yeah. And they grew up in a very different time than us where we didn't talk about your feelings and emotions, and mental health wasn't at the forefront. If you were going to therapy, you were fucking crazy. Like, that's the world that a lot of our parents grew up in. So
Also, I want to mention too, like, because as a parent right now, and I'm, come across other parents on social media, I come across parents that actually like don't like being parents and don't enjoy that part of them, and they see like their child as a nuisance. I know those projections are going on to the kid, and to me it's sickening because like I said earlier, the child didn't ask to be here. And then for the parents to just like hate parenthood, it's hard, I get it. But I know as an adult, those types of projections really like mess with us mentally. But once we realize that it's not us, like we're not actually nuisance, it gets easier. Because I remember things that always stuck to me. My mom always like, well, I never got to live out my 20s, so now in my 30s, I'm gonna have fun and do what I want. But then that made me feel like shit as a kid because I'm just like, you didn't have to have me. I didn't ask to be here. Like that hurts my feelings.
yeah, no, absolutely. My mom does the same thing. She always talks about how I have stepbrothers and siblings that she's raised, some of them since they were like 1, 2 years old. And she always complains about how she gave her life up to take care of these kids. And I'm always like, none of us asked to be here. You didn't have to take care of kids that weren't your own. Like, and I feel the same way. It's like, it makes me feel shitty for you to say that. Like, I ruined your life. Like, I didn't choose to be here. You brought me into this world. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's heartbreaking just because like I guess because I would never do that to my kid because I really enjoy my kid. I mean, yeah, sometimes I need a break because he's on 1,000 and can go and go and go nonstop. I don't have all that energy, and I'm like, I need a break. Can we like lay down for a second? But
that's normal, though. I think that's normal.
but to just continuously say like, I didn't get to live out this time period of my life because of you. I'm sorry.
That was your decision.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, that was just something I've been dealing with, going through. So I really wanted to talk about today.
Yeah.
Enough of the heavy. To end off tonight, Mr. Joshua Mitchell, the person we were talking about earlier who went viral, sent in some would you rather questions for us to answer. So I thought we would end off with that on a little fun note. So his first one is, would y'all rather never have sex again or never see your families again? Don't lie.
Never have sex.
I'm a terrible person, but I think I'm the opposite. I've seen my family my whole life.
he never said you can't masturbate.
Okay, that's a good point. He didn't, but like also like I got kids to have still.
See, I already have a kid, and I'm not gonna go without seeing my kids.
See,
So
that's why. But I'm on the opposite end, and I'm like, I want to see my kid one day, but if I'm not having sex, I can't do that.
Yeah, you can keep the sex. I'm good on that.
Okay, and then the second one is, he said, okay, one more. Would you rather have no arms or no legs? Poor little tink tink. There's that laugh again.
Oh my gosh. You go
I'm going
first.
with no legs.
I think I'm going with no legs too. Because they have wheelchairs.
They have prosthetics.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine though, like not being able to brush your teeth or feed yourself or wipe your own ass?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely going no legs.
Yeah, like
I gotta flick the bean too. And I wanna
yeah, who's gonna do that for you?
And then I like to hug. You can't hug with your legs. I'm a hugger.
You can't hold your kid. You can't pet your
Mm-mm.
dog.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, it has to be no legs for me. Like,
Same.
we'll buy some legs. It's all right.
Same. I'm right there with you. Was it just those two he had?
Yeah, those are the only two. Unless you have any off the top of your head that you want.
No. Dang. Do more next time.
I will. I was going to say, I think, it would be fun. We should do switch it up sometime soon and do an episode where we like play a game.
You know what? Kevin and I bought a game a really long time ago. It's a couples game, like a get to know you conversation one. I'll pull a few cards from it when we record next time.
Yes, that'll be fun. We should do that.
We haven't even opened it.
Don't you love that? You like buy something and you're like, I have all intentions of using it, and then you never use it.
Mm-hmm.
But now it'll get open. So maybe because it'll get open and we'll answer some questions, it'll encourage y'all to play a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, good night, guys.
Good night, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe on all your favorite streaming platforms. We do have visuals on YouTube, guys, so please subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up if you like our content. But yeah, that's it.
Yes. Good night. We love you.
All right, we love you. Good night. It's nighttime for us.
Oh, yeah, it is. For all the people who's listening during the day.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Let's be real. Let's get into it. Let's have some fun.